Attention all activity providers, let me introduce you to the official sponsor of the Start, Grow, Scale podcast. Meet Pebble, the award-winning platform that will help you manage your admin and streamline your day-to-day business, freeing up your time to focus on what you love, running your fantastic activities for children. Why choose Pebble? It's simple. Fast setup, intuitive platform, and hands-on customer success team ready to spend less time on admin and more time on creating incredible classes. Visit bookpebble.co.uk and join a community of over 1,000 activity providers today. Quote the code CHRISSY24 when joining to get your first month on the platform for free. A children's activity expert here in the UK, working with providers across the globe to help them start, grow and scale their children's activity business by unlocking their potential to maximise their income so they get to do what they love. Hello everyone. I'm so excited to have this podcast today. I am interviewing some of the most amazing children's activity providers here in the UK. We've already heard from Josh, my friend, and now today I'm joined by the lovely Rachel Peebles, who I actually call a friend. So let me tell you a little bit about Rachel. Rachel came across me. We sort of met at the Club Hub Awards like 2 years ago, wasn't it, when I was talking on stage. We got chatting on social media, and then Rachel joined the Market Like a Pop Star program, and she joined the Children's Activity Business Club. But I'd say over the last 2 years, that we formed a really lovely relationship and a friendship, and we probably talk most days now on WhatsApp, chatting about all sorts of things in life. So guys, I'm going to hand over to Rachel. She's going to tell you what she does, where she does it, and how long she's been doing it for.
Thanks so much, Chrissy. It's great to be here with you today. It's just great to be able to share a bit about what I do and what I have been doing over all these years. Yeah, I met you at the Club Hub Awards a few years ago, and it's been great to be part of the club and the membership and to do the programmes there, because by that point I'd already been a few years in the industry. I started about 5.5 years ago. I teach Spanish to children and young people, so from babies and toddlers up to teenagers, so the wide spectrum of ages. I also teach adults in my other franchise. I started in 2017. I started part-time. I was still working at Women's Aid at that point, where I was a children and families worker. And after about 6-7 months, I realised that I couldn't really juggle the two things, part-time in two very different areas. And I decided to go for it and just go full time with the Spanish teaching, and haven't looked back. It's been a bit of a
roller coaster
with COVID in the middle and all the things going on. But over that time, I've grown my classes from starting with 2 classes. A previous licensee had 2 classes to pass on. I now have 19 classes every week with children and teach about 180 children a week in those classes. So
what made me laugh was that when we got chatting about everything, you didn't actually choose a career in Spanish. When did you actually start learning Spanish?
I didn't do languages at school. I wasn't really much into languages. My best friend was always into languages, and I thought, what are you doing these languages for? But when I was 18, I went to Bolivia for the first time to volunteer for a month at a school and a community project. I went out there with no Spanish. South America, the majority of the country speaks Spanish, and I just absolutely loved it and just felt that that was something I was called to do there. So I returned. I'd done 1 year of uni at that point, studying economics of all things. Economics, nothing like what I'm doing now. So I went back for a year between 2nd and 3rd year of uni, and then when I finished uni, I moved back to Bolivia and I lived there for 7 years. I've worked there for 9 years in total. Learned Spanish from scratch, out there working with children and families in the community, in prison. The children lived with their families in prison there. So I learnt Spanish from being there and lived and worked and spoke Spanish every day for years and years.
It's an incredible journey that you've had. And when you talk about the work, that the charity work that you do in Bolivia, honestly, I just feel like that's what you were born to do. That, like, obviously you've got the Spanish part, but you're very passionate about what you do in Bolivia, raising awareness and fundraising. So in Rachel's business, she does a lot of fundraising activities for Bolivia throughout the year for using her business, which is a great way, like I always tell people, to raise your profile, take your customers on a journey with you, and then they buy into you. And obviously that's what you're passionate about, so that's what you do. And how much money actually have you raised over the years? Because it must be a lot.
I think we're getting towards the 25,000 mark now. Last year we got to 20,000, which was amazing. I was so pleased. And yeah, like you say, my passion was working in Bolivia there and coming home and having a huge change. It's amazing now to still be able to use my work, which is very different. Obviously, the Spanish comes from all my years out there and my love for the Latin American culture and the language there. But to be able to use my business to still support the work out there, even though I'm now not there working, is just a real privilege. And to be able to involve the families, the children, and let them know about the work and the different projects we support, and to bring everyone together, because it's a group effort for that. When we do fundraisers, I've got local teenagers and girls from the church that come and help. They all volunteer, they give their time to help with the fundraisers, all the families donate. So everyone works together with a common goal there, which
is it's pretty amazing what you do. And what made you, because obviously you've mentioned that you're part of a franchise, it's a license type franchise. What made you sign up to that instead of just going it alone?
I guess at that point, after all my years in Bolivia, I'd worked 6 years at Women's Aid in an employed role working with children, and I'd done lots of different things there with children, and I wanted to get back into Spanish and use my Spanish, but I didn't quite know where to start. And I didn't know what kind of classes or how to pitch them. But with a franchise, or to have a license or a franchise, they have the materials, they have made the programs, they're tried and tested, you know it works, it's an organisation, you've got that support behind you. When you're starting up, you've got the other licensees that you can chat to. You don't feel quite like you're
alone.
One person doing your business with no colleagues, which is amazing. So I think that community, and it's definitely been a huge thing for me all these years, to have colleagues that maybe teach the same things in French or in different parts of the country, to be able to have that, to have the support from head office, to have these brilliant materials, all the songs, all the books, and to know that I've got a base to work from that. And then you obviously make it your own and you put your own spin on things when you're teaching. And yeah, it's
pretty cool.
Yeah, so start by myself. So
yeah, so obviously, going down that route has worked for you, and obviously you've been there a long time, so obviously you enjoy that environment that you've been working in. And I suppose also because you've got that community there, plus I know you have a bit like your family support in the area. And one of the things obviously I know is that you're a single parent. And I know there's loads of providers out there, because I work with them, who are single parents, and they find the struggle hard of juggling being mum, dad, and running a business. So how do you do that? What do you do to help that struggle?
Oh, it's that constant juggle, isn't it? I think most parents running a business or just working in children is always a juggle, isn't it? And just trying to find that balance, especially being a single parent and not having that backup at home or the childcare, and trying to look after a little one. My little boy is 5 now. He's just started primary 1 and he has additional needs. He has autism. So there's all the sort of mum things and home and looking after him, trying to make sure that he's settled and okay, and then running a business where I sort of have to be there. I'm the one running the classes, so if I'm not there, classes can't run. So there's definitely a bit of stress and juggle going on, and I understand that will be similar for lots of single parents in that situation. I'm very grateful for the support I have from my family. I've had a lot of support with childcare with my mum and with my sister, and I've now got a great babysitter as well. And I think finding people that you can trust for the childcare type issues of things, and also just being honest with families and folk that you're working with. There was a day in December I had to cancel classes. My little boy was ill. My sister was working that day. My mum was on holiday. There was just nothing I could do. No way. So I had to just explain it, apologise, and give them back a class, say that I would.
Yeah, and I suppose it's all part of your story as well, which is another thing I tell providers, like when we're working with them, is like share a bit of your personal life, if you're happy to, with your customers and audience, so then they understand when those types of situations happen, and they
I think
obviously cheer you on.
important. Yeah, because if you just say class is cancelled and nothing, and you don't have to share everything about yourself with people you work with, but I think if you're working alongside children or baby and toddler classes where you're getting to know the families and the parents as well, you build that relationship and you want to be real and genuine with them as well, and to let them know, hey, do you know, really struggling today and I'm not going to the class, I'm really sorry, and you make sure that they are getting what they've paid for and that you give them back another class, but also that you're just upfront with them. And it's been amazing, supportive and understanding people have been. I think just don't worry about people's responses, because if folk are coming to a kids class or a family class, they have children. They know the stresses and the difficulties that come with children.
For sure. So if you're like a single parent out there and you're trying to juggle and manage the business, obviously having that network of support around you is really, really beneficial. And you know, take your customers on a journey with you, let them find out more about you, and also surround yourself with the right people, which is why I love the business club that we've got, because everyone in there is cheering each other on, and we all need that to lift us up.
We totally do. And when you're working by yourself and you're not working in a group situation, an office situation where you've got all these colleagues that you see every day, it can get quite lonely, and you're on your own, you're doing your work there. But to have something like the business club where everybody's teaching, doing different activities, but everyone's supporting one another and behind one another. If someone puts on a little post to say, oh, I'm struggling with this, they get responses, they get people saying, oh, don't give up.
Yeah, I love that. And that's what, you're one of the biggest cheerleaders of everyone in there.
I know how important it is to get that support when you're feeling down. So yeah, it makes a difference having that support. And if you don't have that support around you, and you don't have family or people nearby or a franchise, then having groups and finding people in the local area or finding people online that you can connect with and have that support makes a big difference.
Yeah, and it's the realities, isn't it? This is why I wanted this season on the podcast to be about the realities of running a children's activity business. It's not all, you know, roses in the garden. There's all of that part. One of the things, obviously, that we've been working through, and I've been working with you on a one-to-one basis, is you were diagnosed 2 years ago with ADHD. Like, tell me about that moment. What made you decide, I need to get some help or get a diagnosis so I can figure out things or grow?
It's hard because, in a way, one of the issues with my ADHD is my memory. So trying to figure out what was that first thing, I was like, I've forgotten, I can't remember. So a lot was to do with my little boy, because I was looking into autism for him when he was on the pathway to get a diagnosis, and ADHD quite often can go along with autism there. So I was doing lots of research and checking things out, and then I was thinking, wait a minute, there's some stuff in here that looks really familiar. And started following things on social media and thinking, okay, I've had struggles with this all my life, with organization, with memory, with procrastination, leaving things till the last minute, just total time blindness with things. And I just thought, oh, I just can't get myself organized. What is wrong with me? Why can't I do this? Why is this so much harder than it seems to be for everybody else? And I just thought I was crazy, disorganized, and I just last minute everything. And then I started looking into it and thinking, do you know, this is me. This is me. So
did you get a private diagnosis, or did you go through the NHS?
I went for a private diagnosis. I did speak to my GP. I was told the waiting list would be about 9 months. It turned out to be about 16, 17. It can be a long time. And I felt, if this is the case and there is help available, I need that help. I'm a single parent. I'm running a business by myself. The struggles were there. And I thought, no, I need to speak.
Yeah, so, and there is help out there. Because there's a program called Access to Work. How did you find out about that?
I just found out about that online as well. After my private diagnosis, get passed back to the GP. So I did check with him before the private diagnosis that he would take a shared care agreement after I was settled on medication there. I wanted just to make sure before that I wasn't going to have to be private forever. But as I got my diagnosis and started looking into things more, joined groups online, I saw this Access to Work program that I had never heard of before. And it has been such a huge support. And if anyone does have ADHD or is waiting for a diagnosis or wondering about that, and if there are things that are affecting you in your business, then this program can help you. It does have a long wait once you apply. I think it was about 14 weeks for me before I heard back. But after that, they do an assessment, a bit like a workplace assessment you would do if you needed help in a workplace, if you had a disability, if you had difficulties with different things. And they see how your ADHD is affecting your work, what support could be put in place for that. And they give you a grant to provide that support. So I've received ADHD coaching, which has been a huge help, and funding towards a support worker to help me with areas of the business that I just can't struggle with, that has been a constant struggle. And they can provide support with things like dictation software if you struggle with the writing aspects of things, or planning tools, different things like that. And they do it on an individual basis based on your needs.
Yeah, and so if anyone doesn't know about the Access to Work programme, it's a government initiative which is available across the whole of the UK. There may be some regional differences on how the programme's being run out, but technically you don't even need to be diagnosed, do you? Because we know other providers who have not been officially diagnosed who have been accepted through the programme.
And I think that's a huge help as well, because as we've mentioned, the diagnosis process can take
a long time.
So to have to wait for a diagnosis to get support would be discriminatory, because so many people can't get that diagnosis and can't go privately. So they take into account how your symptoms affect you, rather than just a piece of paper that says this is your diagnosis, which is really important.
And then they build, like, what I think is great about it is obviously they build the plan around you and your needs. So I know with you've got a virtual assistant now who's doing admin support. You're getting that coaching that you need one-to-one. And then I know another, and then you have, the tools to do the job. So to stop you putting pieces of paper everywhere.
Oh, my pieces of paper. I've got this tablet, this writing tablet that doesn't have, it's not like just putting things on your phone where you've got notifications coming in all the time to distract you. Oh dear. So you can put all your notes on there, and rather than have a million pieces of paper that I lose and I put here and there, where's my list, where's this, oh no, I've lost it again. It's to try and keep everything in the one place. That obviously that was a huge issue for me. If you don't lose pieces of paper, you don't need a remarkable tablet. But I definitely did, and it has been a big
made
help.
A massive difference.
I hadn't even heard that there was this sort of thing before. I just knew about normal tablets, but this has been great as well, to try and keep notes and plans and things all in one place. And
you've got
the struggles that I have.
It's like 3 years worth of funding, isn't it, as well, that you get allocated. So I'm not sure, do you have to apply every year or get reassessed, or is it
varies depending on your award. So I was given 3 years support, so I don't think I need to reapply during that time. If you're given a shorter period, you then have to reapply at the end of each period. And it does vary quite a lot from person to person and who you get and how the process works, but it's definitely worth it.
I think
100%.
An amazing opportunity for people. And it doesn't have to be ADHD, is it? It can be dyslexia, it can be anything that's affecting the day-to-day running of your business.
Yeah, it's a support there to help you to be able to run your business, and to help you with the difficulties that you're facing that you need help with there. So it's an amazing program.
It's a no-brainer. It's a total go and check it out.
And even though it seems like it's far away, that you have to wait ages, you just need to do the initial bit. You do the initial application, and that gets you in the queue. You need to get into the queue or you'll never get to the front. So you just need to do the initial bit.
We like queuing anyway, don't we?
Queuing all the time. Let's just wait.
So definitely, get involved in that if that you think, oh, that's me and I need that help. And obviously now you're getting that support. I know we're starting to structure your business, and we've got the face-to-face classes that you've been talking about. I don't know if was it like last year that you made the decision after doing the Race to Recurring Revenue challenge, that you decided to build a passive income into your business, and you looked at a membership to complement your classes. And we're just getting that done now, aren't we? You've got it live.
Yes, things are Yes, things are not instant ever with me. Last year, I did the Race to Recurring Revenue Challenge and Lisa Johnson's course, and I thought I need to try and get some recurring revenue into the business because I don't know how things will be with Isaac as he gets bigger. There might be more difficulties there with his autism, and just myself with my struggles with ADHD, and the amount of classes I'm currently running can be quite difficult, and I just don't want to get to burnout stage. So I was looking at ways that I could add to the classes that I'm doing just now and also have that feed into something that I could use online. So with my classes at the moment, I have all the materials and updates and things that I would usually send out in messages that I've put onto a portal to try and keep everything together. Another thing with my ADHD, keep everything in the one place. Don't lose it, so that the children that come to class have this added extra into class there. And the plan with that is to then build on that to be able to make that into an online membership that children that don't have access to local classes to learn Spanish could access to be able to use as well. And that would be a more recurring.
Yeah, and that's totally going to happen. Yeah, because we've done the first part, haven't we? Where we've got all the existing customers over to the membership, like a monthly subscription.
They're now on a monthly subscription for their classes.
So that's reoccurring revenue coming in as it is, because now we've got them signed up, and we charged a little bit extra, didn't we, to bring them in. And then phase 2 now is we're building it out to start promoting it to a wider audience, and that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, and it's obviously not okay, suddenly I'm just going to have this done, and because I teach different ages, there's a lot to do with it. But once that is done and it's set up, it's done and it's there. I think that's
work's done once, and then we can
you do the work, you get everything done, and then that can be used, like when people do courses or memberships and ebooks, and something that they put effort into, do it once, get it done, and then it can be sold, and it can
totally. Like I keep telling everyone right now, as a children's activity provider, you could definitely build a reoccurring revenue or a passive income into your business. However, you may have another superpower, which is part of what your superpower is, because you get hyper focused on certain things, don't you? And then you go off and research and come back. And Rachel, when I launched the podcast, she went off and researched all the places that people could subscribe and rate and review. And I was like, that's an asset that could totally be sold as an asset, because there'll be creators like me out there that don't know all of that. And that's what I was trying to get across.
You were telling me, put that together, put it into a little document and sell it to folk. And
totally. And there'll be people the same that have this information in their heads that might be useful to someone else. So I've been telling everyone they should sign up to the Race to Recurring Revenue Challenge, because even if anything, you'll get loads of ideas out of those 4 days, and it will probably blow your mind, that you'll be like, holy moly, I didn't even know that all these opportunities were out there, because it just never crossed your mind before.
Quite often it's things that you just don't even think of. And a lot of people that do that challenge, they don't necessarily do things connected to their business. Some people do, and they think, oh, I could do this. This is what I do in real life classes. I could do this as an online thing, as something that people could buy as an add-on. So things that current customers could buy things, or new customers, or bringing people into your business that can't physically get to you. So all these sorts of things in your business, it's amazing how your imagination is just sparked.
Yes, exactly. And it's definitely an imagination spark.
Of people do this course and they're putting in ideas of what they could do. You think, oh, wait a minute, how could I adapt that to use that? And even things in your personal life, if your hobbies or different things that you do, that could be used for something as well. So it's just giving yourself that space to think and to use your imagination and to dream, oh, wait a minute, what about if I do this? And just to then go with that. So
totally.
It's a brilliant challenge. Definitely recommend it.
One of the things I think you do really well in your business, apart from obviously amazing fundraising you do, the partnership work you do, the collaboration stuff, is you're building your personal brand. And you've done a lot of work around awards. You've won so many awards. Every time I rock up to an award ceremony, I'm usually with with Rachel, and she always wins. She comes away with something. And I just wanted to get your thoughts on that, because so many providers don't apply for awards because A, they don't either think they're worthy of it, or B, they don't see the point of it. Whereas I know awards are great for business and they do so much for you and your brand. Why did you apply? Why have you applied for them? And how many have you won now?
Oh, I think I was trying to count up, I've got about 7. I've got 7 awards, and then I've been finalists for other ones and had highly commended as well there. So, I mean, it's been amazing. It's such a boost for business. It's a great marketing opportunity. Even if you're just nominated for an award, if you become a finalist in an award, if you win an award, amazing. And I think I first applied, I won an award with Les Brillantes for Licensee of the Year for Scotland and Northern Ireland, and that was brilliant. And then I saw these other awards that you could apply for, and you did an application process and they judged you on what you were doing. And I thought, this is a great process to sit and think, well, what am I doing? What am I doing well? What are the positives? And it's a bit like a job interview. You've got to try and think, okay, so what are these things that you need to be stressing, the things that you do well? And I think that's really important, because when things are tough, and if you're struggling to get people into classes, or if you're struggling with health or with children and juggling everything and you're feeling, oh, I'm not too sure about this, you want to look at the positives and you want to see what you're doing well, and you want to celebrate these wins. So by doing an application for an award, you're focusing in on the things that are going well, the things that you've achieved. And that in itself is a great process to boost your own confidence in what you're doing, and say, hey, actually, with all these difficulties, I've still managed to do this, and this is great. So it helps you to focus on the positives of what you're doing and keep going. And it then gives you that opportunity to think, oh, okay, so I can put this nominated badge on and I can share with people that I'm nominated for an award. And if you get into a final, oh, I'm a finalist, and you can share that. And the award ceremonies are just great as well. The number of people that I've met at award events that you get to know, you can then connect up with them in their businesses, you meet them at other events and you catch up with them. Again, like we were talking about the community, you work by yourself, you're self-employed, but you've got this group of people that you're in the same industry, you can encourage one another, you go towards, oh, they got an award, I know them from this other award. And it's great.
It's a good, it's a great for business and stuff. And obviously, you've won 7 of them, so you must be doing really good awards applications.
Every time that I get into a final or win an award, it's just such a huge boost and such an encouragement. And to have those as well when thinking about advertising classes or what you do, or looking at recurring revenue or anything that you're going to launch in your business, having that as backup to just say, hey,
it's the credibility.
You've got the credibility there.
Yeah.
And like you said, I don't know why people don't apply for them. I know it takes time and you have to sit and do an application. But even if you get nowhere, you have this you've sat and analysed your business. So it's a brilliant tool just to analyse your business and to make plans for moving forward. You've usually got to talk about your plans. And also positives that you get from applying and from having those marketing opportunities. If you don't get through, you don't get through and you try again. The first year I applied for the awards, I got nowhere. The second year I applied to the same award, and it was a similar adapted application with a few extra bits put in from that year, and I was in the final for 2 and I won one of them. I almost didn't apply. I was sitting there last day thinking, oh, I got nowhere last year, what's the point? And I thought, no, I'll just go for it. And I got into 2.
Yeah, you've got to throw your hat in the arena.
You have to have a go. You lose absolutely nothing by trying. You really
What would be your one tip if you could give to providers about getting started with an award application? Where do you start? What's your one tip?
You just start. You don't put it off, and you just say, I'm going to go for this. I'm going to give it my best shot. I'm going to sit and write down all the things that I've done, all the positives there, put it into an application, and I'm going to send it off and
see what happens.
Positive about it there positively, because you might lose a few hours of your time doing the application, but that time is not wasted because it's an analysis of your business, it's planning for the future. It'll give you that boost and think what could happen.
Yeah, I like that.
You could get an award.
It might be a waste of, you might feel it's a waste of time, but it's not.
Never a waste of time to analyse your business and to make plans and to look and see what's working and what's not. Never.
No. So everyone, I hope you found this podcast really insightful. Here's a little rundown of the recap from what I've grasped from it. 1, get yourself a network of support around you if you're flying solo at home with children, be it an online community, a club, or your family, or in-person type network. 2, if you're struggling in your business due to admin or just due to overwhelm, or it could be dyslexia, it could be ADHD, go and look at the Access to Work program and see if that is for you, because you could be getting some support. So don't sit in silence. And then the third one I pulled out was, you've got to be in it to win it. So throw your hat into the arena. And like you said, use that award process to recap on what you've done and plan for the future and celebrate those successes, because if you don't, life gets hard. You've got to celebrate those wins and push yourself on, because otherwise you won't move forward.
You just need to keep going over the things that are going well and celebrate those wins, no matter how small they are. Because like you say, things get tough. Just don't give up and just keep going. And
yeah. And the last one is, you have knowledge in your head that you could be packaging up as an asset to sell. And yeah, they should get signed up to the Race to Recurring Revenue challenge, because they're going to learn a lot from that. So guys, if you've loved today's little realities of running the children's activity business, based on the research that Rachel's told me, you can go over to Apple and you can subscribe and you can leave a review. On Spotify, it's a rating, isn't it? You can only give a
star rating. You can't do a wee righty bit on there.
Yeah. Google, what's the Google one? Do you remember?
The Google one, you can't do any reviews on there. On Podcast Addict, you can write a bit on there. On Amazon Audible, you can do a written review on there as well. So there's a few that you can do written reviews. You've got a wee bit on your website. Yeah, your
brilliant.
Facebook tells you where you can do that. So.
Yeah, and see, I would have known that without Rachel's little bit of the hyper-focus moment, went out there and brought it all in together. So I hope you've enjoyed today's session. Do what we said, like rate it, review it, subscribe, and then we'll be back with more sessions with other providers. So keep staying tuned and have the most amazing day.